Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are diving deep into, well, what the material you shared is calling a universe-bending event that's coming up fast in Pokémon TCG Pocket.
That's right.
We've got a stack of articles, some research analysis. It all points to something big on May 29, 2025.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at the launch of this new mini expansion, Extradimensional Crisis, and specifically the arrival of the Ultra Beasts.
Okay.
So our mission today is really to pull out the key insights from all this material and figure out what it actually means for you, whether you're playing, collecting, or maybe just watching the digital card market.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The sources definitely make it sound like these Ultra Beasts are a huge deal.
Yeah.
So, what exactly are they? Why are they such a departure?
Well, what's really fascinating is how the material frames them. They first showed up in the Pokemon Sun and Moon games, right?
Right.
And they're described as these enigmatic things from another dimension, ultra space. And they just look different. Unorthodox designs, weird powers.
Yeah, the analysis mentions they bring a darker, kind of edgier feel compared to the usual bright Pokemon style.
Exactly.
And that seems to appeal especially to older collectors and competitive players too.
Precisely. The sources even compared the design language, maybe loosely, to things like the Eldrazian magic, the Gathering, or Yu-Gi-Oh's Kaiju.
Huh. Interesting comparison.
But still with that very distinct Pokemon twist, obviously. So yeah, it's not just new cards, it feels like a real thematic shift.
Okay, so they look weird. They're from another dimension. But here's where it gets really interesting for players, I think. The material highlights these Ultra Beasts are set to bring in some significant new strategies, the meta.
Yeah, and that's the big question for the competitive scene, right?
Yeah.
How do these new mechanics actually work? What we've seen so far definitely suggests they'll shake things up.
Like what? What have we seen?
Well, take Buzzwole X. It's a grass type, described as just a brute force attacker. Hits for 120 base damage, which is solid.
Okay.
But the key thing is this turn delay mechanic.
A turn delay. So yeah, it doesn't hit right away.
Exactly. The damage applies on your next turn.
Whoa. Okay, that changes things.
Totally. It forces your opponent to think differently about, defense, positioning. The analysis suggests it's great for hit and run decks. Set up the damage, then maybe retreat Buzzwole.
And what about Nihilego? That was another one mentioned.
Right, Nihilego. That one seems geared towards poison synergy.
Oh.
Yeah, the material suggests it could really create whole new deck types built around stacking status conditions, maybe more stall focus tactics. Wear them down instead of just hitting hard.
And there's a promo card, too.
Yeah.
Necrozma X.
Yes, and the buzz around that one is potential synergy with psychic-type control decks.
Okay.
If that pans out, it could become a real staple in higher-level play. Could really disrupt things.
So new mechanics, potentially new deck types.
And you should also watch how they might interact with older mechanics like special conditions or the Lost Zone. There's even speculation, tying this into possible Alolan legendaries coming back later, laying groundwork.
Right. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From playing to collecting. These are digital cards. How does collectability even work here? The materials seem to stress this point.
Yeah, this is a crucial aspect the sources really dig into. Even though they're digital, it looks like the Pokemon Company is deliberately introducing artificial scarcity.
Artificial scarcity. How do they do that digitally?
Well, by controlling the distribution. Think time-limited events. The sources mention things like Ultra Beast Drop or Wonder Pick events.
Okay.
And maybe requiring specific in-app currency that might itself be limited somehow. The core idea is the same as physical cards. Scarcity drives collectible value.
So some cards are just going to be way harder to pull than others.
Yeah.
By design.
Exactly. Those promos like Ultra Necrozma X and cards you can only get from specific, maybe short-lived events, they're expected to hold premium value in whatever secondary trading pops up. And the analysis even throws out the idea that this could be paving the way for like NFT-style trading down the line. Adds another whole layer.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's potentially big.
And another detail, the sources flag a digital exclusive collector's binder.
A digital binder. So like an album on your phone.
Pretty much, yeah. The idea seems to be to gamify collecting.
How so?
Well, maybe tracking set completion, offering achievements, creating, binder prestige or virtual trophy rooms.
Okay, I can see that.
But crucially, some analysis points out this could be a test, maybe for physical redemption kinds eventually, linking digital achievements to physical rewards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if that happens, the advice for investors is watch closely. Early adopters completing these digital binders, that could hold real long-term value if they add resale or showcase features later.
Gotcha. And what's the reaction been like so far, just from the announcement?
Oh, it's been significant according to the reports. Online communities are buzzing.
Yeah.
Forums like Reddit's Pokémon TCG subreddit, Discord servers, they're seeing like a 35 to 50% jump in posts just speculating about Ultra Beasts.
Wow.
And the big YouTubers, influencers, Unlisted Leaf, Omnipoke, they're already putting out teaser content, analysis videos.
Which just fuels the hype even more, right?
Absolutely. It drives demand before the cards are even out.
So people are already, like, building theoretical decks with Buzzwole X in online tools.
Yes, the material confirms that's happening. Intense theory crafting already.
Oh.
And if you want some historical context, the sources point back to the physical game like Shining Fates in 2021.
Oh, yeah, I remember that set.
Booster packs doubled in value super quickly, right? High demand, limited supply. The speculation is that we could see similar dynamics with these digital Ultra Beasts.
Okay, so there's a lot going on. Gameplay shifts, collectability questions, market hype. What should you, listening right now, be thinking about? The sources had some specific advice based on your focus.
Right. Let's break that down. If you see yourself as a long-term collector,
Yeah.
the advice is focus on those promos and the event-exclusive cards. They're flagged as the ones least likely to come back.
Right.
Probably the rarest.
Okay. Makes sense.
And maybe try to complete that digital binder fairly early, say within the first month, because those event packs might disappear fast.
Right. Okay, what about for speculative investors, people looking at potential value?
For them, it's about tracking demand. Watch for spikes during the June event phases. Consider grabbing extra digital currency if there are sales, especially if TPC limits how you can buy packs later. And obviously, monitor trading channels, look for deals, maybe spot cards that are over or undervalued early on.
Standard investing tactics, but applied digitally.
Got it. And for the competitive players bracing for the meta shift.
Yeah, for players, the advice is get ready. Expect more poison decks, more of that turn delay aggression from things like Buzzwole, and maybe those psychic control hybrids with Necrozma.
So start thinking about counters now.
Pretty much. And use any special event windows. They mentioned mass outbreak windows,
Right.
presumably with better pull rates. Use those to grab the competitive Ultra Beasts you need. Those rates might drop off sharply after June. Good tip. Looking even further ahead. Does the material suggest this is just a one-off thing? Or part of something bigger?
Well, some analyses view this extradimensional crisis as maybe a prototype.
A prototype for what?
For future mini expansions, maybe? Tightly focused releases, one theme, one narrative arc, could be perfect for mobile, shorter play sessions.
Ah, okay. Bite-sized content drops.
Exactly. And with those rumors of a bigger Legends of the Lola expansion, maybe in Q4 2025,
Yeah?
some speculate this Ultra Beast thing as a direct lead-up, testing the waters, building hype for a bigger Alolan return later.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, ultimately, the source material really frames this whole thing as a kind of laboratory for the Pokemon Company.
A laboratory.
Yeah. They're testing digital scarcity, these themed gameplay arcs, maybe cross-platform collector tools. It's all experimental.
So for people paying attention,
For people tuned into the game, the meta, the economy, the analysis suggests that this could be the start of something pretty lucrative and definitely exciting.
it certainly gives you a lot to chew on, whether
Yeah.
you're deep in TCG Pocket, just watching the trends, or wondering about digital collectibles in general.
Absolutely. And maybe this raises a bigger question for you to think about. Given how they're playing with digital scarcity here, and hinting at ways to maybe link digital and physical collections through things like that binder, how might our whole idea of what makes something collectible change in this increasingly digital world, using these Ultra Beasts in TCG Pocket as maybe an early glimpse?